Morning. Now in this class I am going to take into account the different types of accounts, the systems of accounting and some of the terms of accounting terminology. First of all, I am taking into account the types of accounts. When we go for accounting types, previously we are having three types of accounts like personal accounts, real accounts and nominal accounts. At present we are having one more account and one more type of accounting was added to the three types of accounts. And I am going to explain the types of accounts in detail. First, we are going for the personal accounts. Personal accounts are those accounts which belongs to persons like natural persons and artificial persons. Natural persons means the persons who are living or who are alive, like Sita account, Rama account, Krishna account, all these things they will come under natural persons. The court of law, it also given privilege for some companies or businesses and they are termed as artificial persons. Okay, like AB account, XY company account, all these things they are grouped under personal accounts. And the fundamental rule of this personal account is debit the receiver, credit the giver. From whom we are receiving, that a person's account must be shown on the debit side and credit the receiver. That is, debit the receiver, credit the giver. That is, from whom we are receiving, we have to show that on the debit side. And to whom we are giving, it should be shown on the credit side. This is a fundamental rule that we come across in personal accounts. Next goes real accounts. Real accounts are also known as property accounts or assets accounts. And these real accounts which we can see with our naked eye. It is, for example, land and buildings, plant and machinery, furniture account, all these things, cash account, bank account, all these things are nothing but the real accounts. The fundamental rule for this personal accounts are debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Debit what comes in means whatever it is coming to us, it should be shown on the debit side, and whatever it is going from us, it should be shown on the credit side. Like this, we'll come across the real accounts and nominal accounts. Just for namesake only, for name purpose only, they will appear and afterwards they'll disappear. And what are the examples of this? Rent account, commission account, discount account, all these things are nothing but the nominal accounts that we come across. And the fundamental rule of this nominal accounts are debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. All the expenses and all the losses, whatever a businessman will get, he has to show that on the debit side, and whatever may be the incomes and whatever it may be the gains that he will come across, he must show that on the credit side. Okay, this is a fundamental rule for nominal accounts. Now we are going for the valuation accounts. Every businessman at one time or the other time, they must take the assets and liabilities and they have to value that in the open market. Now when they are valuing the assets, some assets value will come down and some assets value will go up. Similarly, liabilities values also, they will come down and they will go up. And when they are varying like that, it is the duty of the person to see those values and give proper treatment for that. For that only the valuation accounts they came into existence. Okay. What is the fundamental rule of valuation accounts? Decrease in assets and increase in liabilities, they must be shown on the debit side. Increase in assets and decrease in liabilities, they must be shown on the credit side. This is the fundamental rule for valuation accounts. Okay, this is about the types of accounts that we come across. Next, we are going for the accounting terminology. So every person, they have to understand the accounting terminology Whenever they can able to understand their accounting terminology, they can able to do any further work in accountancy subject. First one is business. I told you that I am going to tell you some of them, not all of them, but all the people they know that. But some thing is, I have to give some terminology for the benefit of the people. First one is business. An economic activity that was undertaken by a person is known as a business. And the same word business, it is having so many other definitions in other subjects. For example, in management, people they say that business is nothing but being busy. We must be very busy, and that is nothing but the business. And there are so many definitions given by so many authors. But when we go for accounting terminology, business is nothing but an economic activity undertaken by a person. This is about business. And the next one is business transaction. What is business transaction? Before knowing about business transaction, we have to understand what is a transaction. Then we can able to understand about business transaction. Transaction is nothing but actions and reactions of an event occurred. It is nothing but business, it is nothing but transaction. And whenever we come across these actions and reactions in business, we will call those things as business transactions. Next, monetary transactions, where money will play an important role. That is nothing but the monetary transaction. And in whatever it may be, when you take into account the actions or reactions, whatever it may be, money will play an important role. That thing is nothing but monetary transaction. Non-monetary transactions, it is also a transaction, but it won't take into account the money. For example, when any person, when he is having a birthday, he will distribute cakes and other things, but he won't ask any money from those people. That is a non-monetary transaction. Similarly, business people, they will do pujas to develop. Okay, for that they will spend some money for doing pujas. There he is spending money, but he won't take that into account. It will come in business because for the sake of business he is doing this pujas, but he won't consider that as a monetary transaction. Okay, now coming to cash transaction. The next one is cash transaction is that transaction where cash will play an important role. That is receiving of cash and paying. Only cash only it will play an important role, and cash is the important thing that we come across when we go for cash transactions. And after the cash transactions, non-cash transactions. Okay, we'll come across non-cash transactions, but thing is, we won't give importance or we won't give privilege for cash. Let it be anything. Okay, like that, they will do these transactions. That is, you will come across actions and reactions, but there, okay, even though cash appears, okay, they won't give much importance for cash. So that is nothing but non-cash transactions. Credit transaction. Every businessman cannot do business for cash. He has to go for credit. So credit means taking goods at one time and payment at another time. That is postponement of payment. You will come across these credit transactions also in business. A businessman, okay, he cannot survive only with cash transactions. He must go for credit transactions because every businessman, he will think that I must have some regular and permanent customers. When he is having customers, automatically he can do the business, he can continue the business. So that's why he will always concentrate to give credit. And thing is, before giving credit, he will see whether the person can be in a position to give the money or not. Suppose if the person is not in a position to give the money, he won't give any credit. So credit transaction also play an important role in a business unit. Next comes the main important thing, that is capital or equity. we can call equity or capital. Okay, as how we are having the blood for our sustainment, in the same way, money or capital invested by an individual is also like a blood of a business. Without money, no one can start the business. No one can think about the business. No one can think about a business. So, whatever it may be, the amount that he is investing in a business, it is termed as capital or equity. This is very, very important for any business unit, whether it may be a small business or a medium business or a large business or a company. This capital is completely an important issue for any businessman. Next comes the drawings. Okay, when all the money was invested in business, the businessman, he won't get money, he won't have money. So for that purpose, in order to get money for his personal use, he will take some money from the business. Okay, and not only money, he will also take into account some goods for his personal use, because he has to sustain. So for that purpose, whatever it may be, the money or the goods, whatever he is taking from his business, we'll call that thing as drawings. Wherever you come across capital, there you will come across drawings. Because every person, when he is investing, he has after his daily routine life. So for that, he will take some money whenever he is required. Whenever he required, then only he will take. Don't think that every day. Whenever he required, he will take some money or some goods for his personal purpose or personal use. Those are nothing but the drawings. And assets. The property which a businessman will have is known as an asset. For example, buildings, machinery, vehicles, cash, bank, all these things, they will appear as assets for a businessman, which will help, which will assist in improvement of the business. Those assets. And liabilities. This is also very, very important in a business unit. Liability is nothing but the outside payments what a businessman has to do, has to go. Those are nothing but the liabilities. Okay, I'll give a small example. When you start a business, you'll keep your money, and if you think that your money is not sufficient, you have to go to a bank and you have to take a loan. And with that loan amount, you will expand or you will improve your business. So again, you are supposed to pay the loan to the bank. So that payment of loan to the bank will appear as a liability to the businessman, because he is taking loan to the bank. Next, after that, debit, credit. These are the very, very important things that we come across. And people, they'll say debit, credit. But actually, what is the meaning? If you ask actual meaning of debit, what is the actual meaning of credit? No one will say. It is debit and it is credit only, and like that they'll say. But thing is, whenever you are preparing a particular account of anything, whether it may be persons or whether it may be something, incomes or expenses, whatever it may be, you are supposed to prepare individually some accounts. So that's why I'm not mentioning the accounts. If you take a particular account, the level of an account will be called as a debit. And mind it, the account will be in the form of T shape. English alphabet T. And when you take T, the left hand side portion is termed as debit side, hand side portion is termed as credit side. Like this, you'll have debit and credit. And from years together, people, they are showing on the left hand as debit and right hand side as credit. But there is no hard and strict rule that we have to show like that. It is the individual decision. Okay, it is the individual decision of the businessman to show in a different manner. He can show the left hand side as credit side, he can show the right hand side as debit side. But thing is, whenever he is showing like that, he must understand how I am doing. In the same way, he must be in a position to tell that to other people, like this I am showing. So if you cannot able to explain or if you cannot to understand, then it is better not to go for that. It is always better to go in the old fashion that we come across, because from years together we are getting the same thing, and from years together we are having the same procedure. Okay, this is about the debit and credit. Next, on account. On account means part payment. When any person, when he has to pay some money, when he is not having that, what he will do is he will pay a part amount to the person, that is to whom he has to pay. That part payment of money is nothing but on account. Next, debited to, that is you have to show that account on the debit side. Credited to means you have to show that on the credit side. So, and journal, it is a daily book where all the business transactions are recorded. Okay, next, after that, ledger. Okay, ledger, it is nothing but the second book or the main book after preparation of journal entries. Journal, and prepared differently in different ways for different items. Okay, so that is nothing but ledger. Entering the journal entries into ledger is known as journalizing. Okay, entering the this transactions into journal, it is known as journalizing. And taking the journal entries and recording them in ledger, it is known as posting. So like this, we will have some terminology regarding this accountancy. Next, we are going for the systems of accounting. When we go for systems of accounting, we are having two types of accounting systems. First one is single entry system, second one is double entry system. Single entry system, we can also call that thing accounts of incomplete record. And who will follow this single entry system? Small businesses and tiny businesses, they will always think that I must get profit in a short span of period. In that case, he will go for single entry system. And one more thing that you have to keep in mind is single entry system is not a system that is suitable for businesses who stay at one place. All the businesses who want to move from one place to another place and who don't have stable and permanent existence, those people only. Now coming to double entry system, those people who all have stable and permanent existence and who want to keep all the record all the particulars in different types of accounts, we will call that thing as that system. They will follow that system, and that system is known as double entry system. So there is a lot of difference between single entry system and double entry system. Okay, in double entry system, all the transactions are recorded in a systematic manner, and after 12 months period of time, that is accounting period, we'll call that thing as accounting period, they will prepare the trial balance, and from the trial balance they'll go for final accounts. This is one way that they can able to get the profit amount or loss amount. Okay, this is about double entry system. Double entry system, it will have some advantages, at the same time some disadvantages also. What are the advantages? Some of the advantages are, first one is all the transactions are recorded systematically. When they are recorded systematically, every person they can see what happened, and you will have so many transactions, and so many transactions are analyzed, and after that it is easy for us to prepare the trial balance. The trial balance, and after that you can enter that into final accounts. And persons who require the accounting records and who want to know the profit or loss amount, they can able to see all the records when we go for double entry system. And what are the disadvantages? Some of the disadvantages are, all the business people, they cannot be in a position to us. They don't have much money, and another thing is they want to store that. They want to get that stored for a long period of time. They don't have that. And every person, they want to know the profit or loss amount, okay, very quickly. For those people, this double interest system, it won't go. And the main principle of double interest system is, for every debit there will be an equal and corresponding credit, and for every credit there will be an equal and corresponding debit. This is the main principle that we come at double interest system. And every person who go for commerce or whomever it may be, who deals with accounts, they must understand this principle. Without following this principle, no one can do any account. No one can record any account. That we have to understand the principle, and later on we will understand about all these things. And please keep comments wherever you necessary, and whenever you come across any doubts, you please ask liberally without any hesitation. Thank you very much.